Here at Unlimited Cosmetology, we are now offering our aesthetic program and services to the public. Please come down and enjoy a massage or facial. We offer waxing, lashes, and brow services. Call and set up your appointment today. Services start at 5 p.m. We're located at 102 Broad Street in Hattiesburg.
Well, hello, and thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be a good day. This is Mother's Day. So before I begin, I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there. It doesn't matter what age you are. If you are a mother, I'm extending a happy, blessed Mother's Day to you today. I have two of my good friends on the set with me today, and we're going to be talking about Mother's Day, what mothers meant to them, and how they are able to carry on and do the things that they're able to do today because they had mothers who cared about them. So my guest today, to my far left, is Pam Higginson Berry, and to my near left is Shelia Howard, and we are all members of Grace Temple Church, and these ladies love God, and you're going to enjoy what they have to say. So sit back, relax, and let's listen today. Who wants to start? Who wants to start it off today? I know both of you all want to start it off. Well, Pam, since I introduced you first, exactly. I guess I'll go with you first. Pam, is there anything that you learned from your mother when you were young that you carried over in today and you abide by that particular thing that you learned from her?
First of all, my mom we were always in church. You put God first, she taught us that, but she also taught us about family, that when you can't depend on anyone else, you can always depend on your family. And back when I was a child, all your cousins were your family. Every holiday you did with your cousins.
Absolutely.
And she taught us how valuable family is.
Pam, when you were young, did you and your cousins go to each other's house and play and enjoy each other when you were?
Absolutely.
That's the way I was.
We used to do Easter all together on our farm, and there was a bunch of us.
Wow.
But
we don't do those kind of things like that anymore. Okay, my friend Shelia here. Is your grandmother raised you right, reared you?
Well, I had my grandmother, Aretha, my mother Jerry, and my sister, like a sister Joyce, was my mom, like my mom as well. She was an older cousin. But my grandmother taught me about loving unconditionally.
Wow.
And about family and how important it was. And right now today, my mom and my sister Joyce does the same thing. And my cousin, which I call my sister Ruth. So I had like women and my Aunt Bobby, it was so many folks in my family
that you learned
my
from.
auntie that I learned from. So it was all mom, because my mom worked all the time. And so we did things together as well. I remember being out on the farm. We would meet on Sundays and we would play football and dodgeball and stuff like that. But the most important thing I can remember my mama teaching me, never let a man treat you any kind of way.
Oh, wow. That was a good one.
Because God will anoint someone to be just for you. Wow. And sometimes we step out and do things and join people before God anointed. On our own. And so my mom taught me that.
Did you follow that rule?
Yes, I did.
Good.
I ended up with a good man, James Howard Sr. And we was dating, even in high school. But my mama taught me, he's not going to do you any kind of way. And she told him one time, you do right by her, you marry her, let her go.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why we got married so young at 19 and 21.
Well, you know what? So, a lot of more parents need to teach their girls that. They really do.
Yes.
That was a good philosophy.
Yes.
So let me ask you all something else. When you were coming up, what were some of the things that you enjoyed doing? See, life was simple back then. It's not like it is now. With your mother, what some of the things you did with your mother?
Well, my mom was a seamstress, which I am not, but she used to make me clothes, and she would make me a new dress for every Sunday. because it was important that I looked like everybody else because, we wasn't really rich. But she would make me a dress every Sunday, and so I had a new outfit to wear. And so I enjoyed watching her make them and try them on and all that kind of stuff. And it was just kind of our time together, spending together.
And but she may not have taught you how to be a seamstress, but somebody taught you how to cook because you are a good baker. She's one of the better bakers that I know. But Sheila, what about you? What did you enjoy doing with your superiors?
With my grandmother. Because when my mom remarried, I was left with my grandmother because my grandmother just felt like her remarried be best I stayed. And so my grandmother taught me how to cook, and I love cooking. But also, at the age of 10, I remember saying, "Oh, let me wash the dishes." That was the worst move ever because I was a good dishwasher.
And you got caught.
And I got caught having to wash the dishes all the time. And so, she just taught me just how, how to flavor your food.
Yeah.
With love.
Well, y'all who's watching this show today, apparently her grandmother or her mother liked to entertain. Because Sheila likes to entertain.
Yes, I love entertainment.
And that's
love family.
That's great. That's great. And I like entertainment, but not often. Just every now and then.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I like to feed people.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Being from Louisiana.
Pam, I know you do. Yeah. When people, I had a friend, and she said, "There's two things you're gonna do when you come to Hannah Hopkins' house. You're gonna pray and you're gonna eat."
That's it.
That's what we practice.
Yeah, I learned, and I know that about you, so that's true.
As you grew older, ladies, and you remember how your mothers prayed for you.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Does that mean a lot to you today, and you better understand the reason why you pray for your children? The importance of praying for your children today.
Yes, ma'am. I pray for my children and my grandchildren and your children. I believe in the power of prayer, and my mom did too. My mom used to walk around the house and as she was cleaning and sing, "He Lives."
Oh.
And so he was in our house all the time. God was in our house all the time, and she taught us to be strong.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. And it carried over.
Yeah.
And so, how old was Pastor Higginson when was he ministering before your mother passed away?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. She used to come to Grace Temple, sit on the front row up front. That's my boy.
Oh, wow. She was proud of him.
Yes.
Yes. And I know you are proud of your son.
Yes.
Her son is the youth pastor at Grace Temple Church, and he does a phenomenal job. And I know you're proud of him.
I'm so proud. My grandmother used to pray for us, and my mom, like I said, my auntie, and standing by the bank of the river is one of the songs that my grandmother used to love. And I was telling my mom, I said, that was what she said, yes. And so, yeah, she prayed all the time, and James' mom prayed that James Sr. would be a minister, not knowing that she was instilling that seed to James Jr. and her grandson. And so from day one, just when James Jr. was born, we just can see that he was so anointed.
Wow.
All my kids were good sons, good kids. But James Jr., like I had no trouble out of him. We just knew when he went to school for art and said, "Mom, I want to be a minister.
Wow.
I want to do biblical study." My mom said, "Well, he got this scholarship for free. Don't let him." I said, "Mom, we letting him do what God's saying he needs to do." And my husband, he's a minister as well.
I did not know that.
Yes, he's a minister as well. So it did come round circle to that.
That's interesting. My mother was a minister. My brother was a minister. My brother-in-law was a minister, and I'm a minister. So it runs in, and my sister is a minister.
And my family too.
Yeah.
I got cousins and uncles and nephews.
But speaking of singing the song, Down by the River, my mother's favorite song was, "I Know It Was the Blood."
Oh my God, yes.
And she had this heavy voice. And we would be at church. I'm reminiscing now.
It's okay.
And they would be serving communion. And she would strike out, "I know it was the blood. Thank God it was the blood for me." And I can just hear her singing that song now. That was her favorite song.
Yes.
It was. It was. Were there any other women in your family, I know you've already said it, Shelia, that made an impact on your life other than your mom?
Oh yes, my grandmother. She was handicapped my whole life, and so she lived with different daughters and stayed. But she stayed a long time with us because Mom was single, and she took care of Pastor Dwayne while Mom was at work. And she's the one that actually taught me how to cook.
Wow.
And so all of my recipes are kind of old-fashioned recipes, but they're good.
They're good. They're good.
But she taught me a lot of that. But she prayed for Dwayne from day one that he was. She knew he was going into the ministry. She prayed about that.
Are you serious?
And she was a big influence because Dwayne was younger than all of us. So when he came along, Mom was trying to work, and we were in high school, and he was at home. So my grandmother's a huge reason for him being in the ministry too. She prayed for him too.
Isn't it amazing how our grandparents played a role in who we are today?
Yes.
As well as our parents?
Exactly.
I remember when I got saved, my mother was saved also, but I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. She told me what to do. She said, I want you to go out by yourself, and I want you to pray. And I want you to ask the Lord to forgive you of your sins. Ask him to come into your heart. And I was 7 years old. And save you from your sins. And I did that. And some people say that you too young. No, I understood everything she said.
If you understand and confess.
And I joined church. And they baptized me in a pond.
A lake for me. Yep.
But we have a lot to be thankful for, to have had parents and grandparents.
Yes. With my grandparent, even when my grandmother Aretha got down sick, she would still make sure we went to church. And we had a bus that would come and pick the students and the kids up in the neighborhood and take us to church. And when it was revival, we was just talking about this the other day, every church would have different revival in our hometown, but they would make sure there was a different time, and so they catered to the kids and stuff. And so my grandmother say, even though I'm sick, you going to church every Sunday, and I did.
Wow.
One of my aunties, cousins, someone would take us to church.
And that's why you like to go to church now.
Yes.
Church is on the inside of us because we got it when we were young. It's instilled in us. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. What is it that you teach your children that your mother may not have taught you? That's not a reflection on she was not a good mother. But you know, the times have changed.
Yeah.
So we have to deal with them according to the times. Can you think of anything?
Well,
or your grandchildren?
Well, with my daughters especially, you know, I just try to teach them just to be respectful young ladies. Not that my mom didn't teach me that, but you know, you will see so much and you will sneak and do things behind your mom and grandmother back, and it'll come back to you.
It will.
And so I had to tell my daughters, I did that, I done that, you're not getting over on me, and I'm gonna be praying for you. And you know what's right, even when they stray away, or we did as teenagers as well, my daughters know. You know, I hear Delta especially be talking about Jesus all the time, and I told my husband, the only thing you can do is just smile and just thank God that you had someone to teach you about Jesus.
That. It comes back, doesn't it?
It comes back, and this continues to be a generational thing.
The one thing she did, when I would ask her a question, if there were other adults there, she said, "Go sit down." I wanted her to answer my question.
Did
y'all experience that?
Oh yeah, you wasn't even allowed in that room if they was in there. Unless it's time to pray. Then when it's time to eat, everybody come there, whole hand, you pray, and then you go. And sometimes you be sitting up there praying so long, you're going like, Lord, did they even bless the food? But yes.
I know the feeling. Listen, when I was a young adult, I was at Jackson State. My mother and daddy, every holiday, we had to join hands and pray. 4th of July, New Year's, Christmas, birthday, anything, balloon day. Come Come on, y'all. Let's have a word of prayer.
Let's see it.
And I didn't like it then, but I'm so proud
Oh, my God.
that they taught me that, because I find myself doing the very same
Same
thing.
thing.
So we might not understand it when we are having to do it, but as we grow older, we appreciate it.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
That's
I know
right.
I do. Yes, indeed.
We've already talked about this. Do you think, how important is it for you to not only discipline your children and your grandchildren, but to teach them godly principles? How important is that?
Oh, godly principles are very high, way high above that. I think you have to discipline your children. I don't think there's enough of that these days. But I think discipline helps. And sometimes just sitting down and explaining things to them why it's wrong.
Yes.
Because I have values that my grandparents gave me, but they've been gone.
Yes.
So sometimes explaining to them why you do what you do helps a lot too.
Yeah.
Or they'll say, my friends do this and that, and
Yes.
you're like, well, you're not your
Yes.
friend.
Yes.
We don't do that in our
Right.
house. So.
It's
Because
very
I can
important.
remember when I used to say, well, all of my friends are going, why can't I go?
Oh, I made that mistake one time.
Did you?
It would say, well, my brother younger than me, why can Hurt go? I can't go. Why David can go? I can't go. My grandmother say, did you just question me? Next thing I know, that trash can was out the corner. I was in the corner. She was tearing me up. And I thought I can come back on her. And she showed me who was really one of the house. And she said, now go in there and sit down. You see, the next time you go somewhere from then on, baby. And she said, no, I just be smiling. Then I'm being good. She said, oh, you can go. So you have to learn what you can and can't
You know
do.
what they call that back then? Pouting.
Oh,
Right.
oh,
You're
baby.
pouting. Yeah.
That's the only whipping I can remember she giving me, and she ain't had to give me another one.
Because that was a good one.
That was a good one. I'm telling you.
And they'll say something like, oh, you're grown, huh? You're a grown
Oh
woman.
yeah, I thought it was because I was 15, and he was only
But
what,
she put you
like
in the
12.
on the
Oh,
right
yeah.
track.
Oh yes, ma'am. It didn't take much.
Do you all find that, I think it's time for us to take a break. One more quick question. Do you find that you have more patience and put up with more from your grandchildren than you did your children? Be honest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My son used to say he was always my favorite. Not that he was. He always say that until the grandchildren came along, and then I was out.
Yeah, and your kids reminds you
They do.
of that.
They do.
Like James Jr. said one time, I was saying something like getting Ari this and Janiyah and Jeremiah this, and he said, Mama, you know we still your kids, we wanted stuff too. I say, get on out of here. But yeah, they'll remind you of what they couldn't do, even compared with Delta, because Delta is so many years younger than James Jr. I was 39 when I had Delta, and she just turned, she'll be 22.
Oh, okay.
And they used to say, oh, we couldn't do that, we couldn't do that, we couldn't say that. If we would have said no, we would have been flying up against the wall, you know, and stuff like that. And right now today, Delta tends to have more, both of the girls, with their daddy than with me. And Delta can say, oh, my daddy, oh, I asked my daddy, he'll let me do it. The kids when Dare has said anything like that, the older ones.
The younger ones get by with
Yes.
less, because my younger one,
Yeah.
when she was at home and everybody else was gone, married, and they would come home, they said, Mom, why you don't make her clean her room? We couldn't have our
Xavier
room
makes the clear
junky
about
like
Delta.
that.
Why Delta do this, Mama? Still right now today, Delta.
But
we
your
would have never been
patience
able
is
to
shorter,
do
and you just say, let them go on. You don't worry about it. Shut the door.
that. Yeah. Baby.
Well, I hope that you all have enjoyed my two guests today, Pam Berry and Sheila Howard. We've been talking about mothers and Mother's Day principles that we follow today, things that we were taught, and good things that we can look back on and be thankful for, because they made us into what we are today, because they prayed for us. They
Yes.
spent time with us. They talked to us. And they just loved us
And
unconditionally. They disciplined us.
Yes.
So we're going to switch the gear a little bit, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to close it out. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you are being blessed by this program, we need your financial support at this time. Please consider becoming a partner or making a donation to this ministry. Donations can be made using PayPal at Hannah Hopkins Ministries or by mailing your donation to P.O. Box 17405, Hattiesburg, Mississippi 39404. We appreciate your financial support. Please pray about being a part of spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ during this crucial time by making your donation today. If you have a prayer request, please call us. If you don't get an answer, please leave your name and number and someone will call you back.
So we're celebrating Mother's Day today, and I want to end it by talking about mothers, talking to fathers, and talking to children. This is a special day. I really believe that Mother's Day is one of the most important holidays that we can celebrate. Mother's Day started back in, I believe it was in 1914 by a lady by the name of Anna Jarvis. She loved her mother and she wanted to do something to show her mother that she loved her. So she went to Congress, she talked to the people, and they passed a law that every second Sunday in May would be designated as Mother's Day. So ever since then, we've been celebrating Mother's Day. Now, it doesn't matter how old you are if you are a mother. If you have mothered a child, we celebrate you because that's important. Think about Mary was the mother of Jesus. They chose Mary, God chose Mary to be the mother of Jesus. And she was one of the most important, or the most important woman that ever lived. But just because you was not chosen to have the Christ child doesn't mean that you're not important. You are important because you are a teacher, because you love your children, because you care for your children, because you are there for them. Nobody on this earth can love a child more than a mother can. Nobody is going to pray for a child more than a mother will pray for them. Mothers have patience with their children. If their children get in trouble, if they go to jail, they'll even go to jail to visit their children and they'll pray for them. If they're on drugs, they don't give up on them. If they are not saved, they pray for them to get saved. If they're sick, the mother is the one who will lay hands on that child and say, in the name of Jesus, you be healed. And I'm not counting fathers out, because the mother couldn't have the child without the father. But it so happens that today we are celebrating the mothers, and we want you to think about how important it is to celebrate them. Think about who else on this earth could you celebrate that's more important than celebrating your mother. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. Sometimes they might ask you to do things that you don't feel comfortable doing, or you just don't want to do it. And you just don't feel like doing it. But you have to say, this is my mother, so I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to take the time to go to the store for her. I'm going to take the time to cook for her. I'm going to take the time to show her, not just in words, but in deeds, how much I really love her. Now, I'm thinking about some of the mothers in the Bible. I think about Hannah. You know, Hannah couldn't have children, but she prayed that God would give her a male child. God gave her Samuel. Samuel grew up to be one of the greatest prophets on earth. She told God, when you give me this son, I'm going to give it back to you. And she did. She presented him back to God. She took him up to the temple and she presented him to the priest. So, real mothers, Christian mothers, virtuous mothers keep their word. They are promise keepers. If they tell you they're going to do something, you can count on them. Virtuous women are women who make sacrifices, not just for their children, but for the entire family. Sometimes they'll sit up late, keep late hours, get up early in the morning to make sure everything is in order. Sometimes mothers have to give up what they have in order for the children to have what they need. I've heard of mothers who didn't have enough food to eat, so she would cook for her children, and she would distribute among them what she had, and she would eat the minimum amount to make sure her children had enough to eat. I'm just trying to help you to understand today the importance of having a mother. Now, many of you, your mother is gone, just like my mother is gone. But she instilled some things in me that I'm still living by today. I believe I'm sitting here in this chair talking to you today because of the prayers that my mother sent up for me when she was on this earth. So mothers, keep on praying. Keep on standing. Keep on believing. Keep on confessing. Keep on doing good things. Sometimes we don't feel appreciated. But guess what? God appreciates us. And we will learn later on that our children really do appreciate it. When I was young, I didn't appreciate my parents like I did when I grew older. So I want to tell you this today. I want to give you some little nuggets. Take your mother out to eat. If you don't take her out to eat, cook for her. Cook her favorite meal. Husbands, go out to eat with your wives and your children. And if today was not Mother's Day, I tell you this, it might be a little late, but the mall might still be open. Go out there, husbands, and buy your wife something nice. Buy her a suit. Buy her a watch. Buy her a dress. Show her that she's a queen for today. And when you do that, you'd be surprised at how happy you will make your wife. Children, give your mother some money. I'm talking to the little kids. Maybe you have $5 in your little bank, your little piggy bank. Give it to your mother today. Show her love. And when we show our children love mothers, we're teaching them how to show us love. So we've shown them love the whole year up until today. So it's time for them to show us some love. And I just want to say this in closing. Let's learn to pray together. Pray with mothers, pray with your children every day. If they're grown and gone, pray for them. If they're at home, before they walk out of the door to get on the bus or to walk to school, grab their hands and say a prayer with them and for them. A family that prays together stays together. Where there's love, there is hope. And where there's God, there is love, because God is love. And I hope you all enjoy today. I hope you celebrate. I hope you take some pictures. I hope you have a good time. So I'll close today once more by saying, Happy Mother's Day. God bless you. Until next time, I'm Hannah Hopkins saying, you be blessed.
For a donation of $10 or more, we would like to send you a copy of our signature keychain. For a donation of $20 or more, a copy of our book, Speeches for Any Occasion. We accept PayPal and Cash App. Or send check or money order to Hannah Hopkins Ministries, P.O. Box 17405, Hattiesburg, Mississippi 39404.